Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Have the Race Gone for the October edition. It is now Oktoberfest here from Fuji indeed. And I'm an excited boy because these nights are usually some very, very good racing indeed. And good evening to everyone joining in here. Early days, qualifying, getting closer. Just by now I think we're about 5 minutes away from that Super Pole qualifying session. And well, a quick hello to you as well, Stick. Hello David, hello Frank Lucid, nice to have you along. Fair, nice to have you along as well. Netso, of course, a pleasure it is. And just to break down the format here, it is 2 heats, 25 minutes each. And the second one, we're gonna have a reverse grid order based on qualifying, but for the top 10 only. For the first of 2 heats, we're gonna have a flying start. For the second of 2 heats, we're gonna have a standing start. The Audi TTs, well, I think you all know them. If you love them or hate them, well, that's up to you. But it is a whole lot of front-wheel drive love indeed. And a special catch for this series is that there is no ABS. Couple that with that heavy, hard braking zone, the zone of braking hearts that is into turn 1 here. I think that'll be coupled to give us some great action from these races. Usually what we've seen here is all action indeed. One of the absolute best series that we've had in the history of our channel, the rather short-lived history, just over a year, and that's something I've never actually managed to mention upon, that Have the Race Gone has had its first birthday. And we haven't done anything for it, so what do you know? But here we are from Fuji. I think it's actually the 4th race we're bringing you from Fuji in about a month. We've had the IGTL, the Summer Championship Series with a race from Fuji. That was a banging race though, really good race indeed. We've had the Nuke Shot Endurance Series visit Fuji as well. Then we've had the TSR GT86 Cup. Now we have the Audi TT Showdown. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you have been enjoying your weekends here. Let's go over who we have on track at the moment. A couple of guys in the pits, a couple of late joinees, I think, from within the driver lineup, but a very strong lineup indeed we have from the iRacing team, the young Dutchman that is Hubi indeed. Such a pleasure to have Hubi with us on track, a skilled young man indeed, very, very fast, and we're expecting him to be battling for top spots here tonight. We've got Spark 43 from the Netherlands as well. Not the first race that Spark 43 has done, but it's going to be interesting since I think, if I'm not completely mistaken, we do have Bottle Sparks on the grid as well. There's going to be a lot of sparks flying here tonight. We've got Schosse, of course. Schosse, one of the organizers of this series and the championship leader in the aforementioned TSR GT86 Cup. Got a 5-minute delay on qualifying. Well, that's alright. Gives me the time to go over the grid. And Grosso, the Portuguese, is with us again. A known face by now, I think we can surely say. And then Avup, the commentator, is racing. As we see him, he's he's swinging that TT the wrong way around. But Avup, nice to have him on the grip as well. We got Book from Finland, and we have in the pits hanging out at the moment. Just exiting, it is Shoma. Certainly amongst the favorites. He's always amongst the favorites whenever he's on the grid. The French alien. Le été français. And then Shossahash, and for the TSR boys exiting the pit lane at the moment, it is Wake indeed. Ryan, plenty of excuses there are early on here. Ryan should probably go race indeed. Excuses plenty. Round robins, nice to have you along as well. So with a 5-minute delay on qualifying, that means we're 5 minutes away from qualifying. I am here, however, with my trusted coffee. What would I be, in broadcasting terms at least, here on these weekday nights without? Good question indeed. Nick Redman, welcome to you. Nice to have you along. Hubi still fastest here in the practice part of things. Is still the Dutch 1-2. And it's going to be an interesting one in the end. So, as I mentioned earlier, well, I gladly go over it again. Heat 1, rolling start, 1 extra lap. Of course, grid order just by that Super Pole qualifying session that we're gonna have in about 5 minutes time. And Heat 2, standing start. And the top 10 is gonna be reversed from that qualifying order. Looks like, or sounds like to me, that Ryan won't be racing. What a shame. Won't be no yell in his name. And that's that pit lane sent. Calm, executing that perfectly. 3 minutes till qualifying session is going live, so now's the time for the drivers really to make it count. Netzo at work now? It's kind of late. What is up, Calster? Nice to have you along. A good question, Stick, indeed. Ryan, pink eye. That's always less than fun. Oh, there's some serious reversing going on. Look at this from the Frenchmen. Both of them. You'd believe they'd be Dutch with this backwards racing going on. And that's who the... Oh, actually... So welcome to everyone joining in. We're about a minute away from the start of the qualifying session. It won't be long by now. Let's have a little tick down my throat. Needed to get that one away before we get the real action underway. And ABS is indeed off, which is a big part of the action making here for the Audi TT Cup Showdown series. Ooh, with Hubi getting loose on the rear ends. Let's get loose for the Dutchman. Oh, shots left. Oh no. That doesn't look good. Had a bit of troubles broadcasting yesterday. I don't know if it was local trouble from me connecting to PSN or if if it had anything to do with the surge of Fortnite playing that was allegedly going on yesterday. But I was not able to get any real life into my upload connection. It was seeming to be stuck at a potato-ish 200 kilobytes a second. Anything remotely tech-savvy will be well aware that you won't get far in streaming terms with 200 kilobytes per second. And so there was to be no stream yesterday. Limitless has just joined us here, which is nice to see as well. And indeed, round robin's the best of excuses. Just hammer those brakes a little too hard if you want to take that driver out in front. Legitimate excuse. Legitimate excuse. Just waiting for all the drivers to be present, I think, before we actually start the session here. Maybe for those final couple of drivers at the moment. Hello, Patrick. I hope this isn't gonna happen to us. I can say that today, so far, fingers very much crossed, and I'll be trying to quietly knock on wood without really upsetting Stella, the half-the-race dog, who of course thinks that if I knock on wood, obviously someone have to be knocking at the door, which is, yet again, just an excuse for the guard dog that she is to get her bark on. And Stick, well, let me just take that opportunity to brag about my fiber connection 300/300 that at the moment being limited by my Cat 5 cable, not being able to transmit more than 90 megabits per second. Third of your shoulders. What's up, GTR? What's up, Olegna? Nice to have you along. What a pleasure. The drivers are out on track for the outlaps. We have Shaze, Shomar, Hubi, Bottle Sparks making it here as well, making 2 of the Sparks indeed. We have Dr. Hash, Avup, and Grosso, Wake, Calm, and, well, we have Book as well. And it's, of course, fuel ×1, tires ×1. It's racing hard, and I think we're starting on full tanks, and that of course means pit stops. Certainly not a thing here, unless you go and pick up some of that horrible damage, which it is, as we've seen before in these close races, rather easy to do. Mind you, we've also got to do with some of the top names in GT Sport in the European region, actually all around the world, with Cam, the Canadian, amongst us. Very fast indeed. So, you know, I was about to say we're seeing some naughty driving at times, but it's so skillful. I'm gonna rather say it's ambitious. We're seeing ambitious driving at times, and it so happens that with ambition, so in a situation or two, sometimes follows failure. He's sucking everyone's. Yes, I certainly am, Stick. I most certainly am. So let's see Shase on the flying lap. Oh, is that just exiting the pits? Is that Avup now parked? No, that's not Avup. I can't even see who that is. That's far down the order, but the 2 front runners, Shase and Shoma, the Frenchman wisely positioning himself within the slipstream reach of Shase, but far enough back that it doesn't look like he will get caught in a tangle with the German in front, although you never know. It is a risky move, because if Shase makes a mistake, could get caught up there and actually lose time in behind. Then it's Hubi, closely followed by Bottle, Sparks. Those will be the first lap time setters here. Patrick, the requirements to join, I think it is an invitational series, get in touch with Dr. Hash. You can do that on PSN. He's also on Discord. You can join our Discord. As a matter of fact, there is a link to that in the description. If you feel like it, you can get in touch with the good man they call Dr. Hash through there, and let's talk to him about it. He is the organizer. Now the drivers are getting to the line, making their way here out the final turn. Who gets the run? Well, Shomar very much is in the slipstream of Chasse. He very much is closer when they started the lap. And look at that, Chasse must be a little bit frustrated about the toe that he's giving to Shomar. 7/10 up. He is very impressive pace and a very good utilization of that slipstream from Shomar to take a provisional pole position. And no one really able to get close because Chasse, at the moment provisionally, is second. Now someone's gonna be coming through here on a hot lap. I'm quite sure. And that would probably be Limitless. Chasse calling Shomar a thief. That is the best the best description I've heard in a long time of exactly what went on there. So a short break it's gonna be before we get the first of two heats underway, so the drivers just have a chance to have their short breaks, whatever that means. You decide. It seems to be a thing with league racing. The drivers always need a short break before the race. I don't know what type of craziness that is. Short break. Some strange stuff. And we certainly have started a trend with our backwards racing in the minis. That's now going on for real here. Let's see. It's gonna give an all new meaning to the WAN cam as well. And yes, GTR, it is indeed a very strong lineup. Actually, it's a very strong grid. And let's just, speaking of grid, have a look at the grid order. Because I never really got the chance to that sounded rather strange, to be honest, as we went into the live timing there. It's Shomar, as mentioned before, on pole position by 7/10 of a second up on Chasse. Then it's Hubi the Dutchman in third from the Iris Racing team. We've got Calm the Canadian in fourth place in front of Bottle Sparks from TX3. The LDLC TX3 team in fifth place there. We've got Book the Finn in sixth. And Grosso in seventh. We've got TSR Wake in P8. Avoop, our lovely French broadcasting colleague, IGTL commentator, and all-around good guy. He's in P9. We've got Spark 43, the other Spark, or the Dutch Spark, or the 43rd Spark. He's in P10 indeed. Limitless in 11th, and Dr. Hash is in P12, and that will be the grid order for the first of our two heats. 2 minutes till race start, so final chance for the drivers to make those final bit of preparations. What we've seen is that a lot of drivers take this chance to practice their starts in these cars, because getting off the line can be very, very difficult indeed. Now, of course, it's not going to be a huge problem for him. It's not going to be any problem. Matter of fact, in the first heat, with the rolling start, that is, but with the standing start, in that second heat, we've seen troubles. We've seen drivers getting bogged down big time in those starts, and you know, it makes good sense to practice. Testo start high. Shoss is reminding everyone not to crash in the formation lap. I think that's a very good idea. And not to talk too much about iRacing, but it has yet to happen. It's yet to happen to me, crashing on the formation lap. I don't understand how people manage to do that. Anyway, we went through it before. Here it is again, the grid order here for the first heat of 2. Obviously I was wrong because Dr. Hash certainly isn't last, but we're gonna have 1 formation lap. We're gonna have 14 laps of actual racing, and with that, well, it's gonna be an easy roll around. Of course, important for the drivers to keep the heat in the tires. And in real life, one of the big challenges with many front wheel driven race cars is actually keeping temperature in the rear tires, and that does make sense indeed. So what you often hear engineers talk about when concerning these front wheel drive race cars is just how to affect the setup in order for the car to generate enough heat, to generate enough friction, to then in turn generate enough heat to actually get grip around the rears. Doesn't seem to be that big of a problem in GT Sport, but that doesn't mean that this car cannot lose its rear end. It most certainly gets loose at times. It gets looser than a caboose on Soul Train. So Shoma leading the bunch now down towards that very tricky final sector of the track. Led in here with the chicane, the most modern of layouts, and then that right, left, right combination. And of course, everybody's going to be looking for the launch onto the straight, not this time about, because green lights aren't allowed until they get to the line. A good evening to everyone tuning in just about in time, as we've got the field rounding the final corner here of the formation lap. We are about to go green from Heat 1 here of the October edition of the Audi TT Cup Showdown series here from Fuji indeed. 25 minutes of hot GT Sport action is about to go live, and it is now Shoma who's controlling the field. And just about when he chooses to go green, to go live, to go racing, well, that's a good question. And here they go, down towards turn 1. They're steaming and they're really bunching up together. The first 4 are strung out. Shoss is on the tail of Shoma. Then it's Hyby Bottlesparks in 4th place. And now let's see, will they all make it into turn 1? No, they most certainly won't, as Bottlesparks just does, but he's somehow put into his gamer tag, turns the steering wheel to the right, but the car brakes left. He's out of control. He's down in final place, in last place, 12th place it is for him. Shoma getting safely through there. Shoss second, Hyby third, and Grosso now up into 4th place with TSR Wake on his tail. Then it's TX3 Limitless in P6 with a send there into the hairpin of turn 5. Wake, I think, though, hanging on to it on the outside, getting the better run, and now it might be calm. It's fallen somewhat down there into P7. who's looking to get a run up in front. It's still Shoma. It's still Shosse there right on the tail. And we're gonna have another look at just what happened at the start of the race. Here we are. The wang cam from Bottle Sparks, and we're about to see what happened to him. Oh, and he got collected as well. So that's someone who probably picked up some damage in that situation. As they're rounding off the first lap now. Good evening, Ethan, by the way. Nice to have you along, and such a piece of bad luck. The CRN lads are crying indeed. The luck does not get much poorer than that, that is for sure. As Shosse is having a look to the inside of Shoma. They're into turn 1, but Shoma last of the late breakers. And there was no way past for Shosse here. He'll be third. Getting a bit of a gap now. Down to Engrosso, the Portuguese, holding on to 4th place. Limitless is now up into 5th. Wake is 6th and under pressure from Calm. Here we are on board with the Canadian. It's the Canadian! Hello, Thunderstorm. Nice to have you along. And how great it was to watch the Jimmy Broadbent race for mental health on, well, both Rory's own Iris channel, but also, and especially actually, I think, on the ERT Esports channel. It was really good fun following along. So thanks for bringing that stuff. Indeed, here Calm still pressuring Wake, as Wake's gonna have a look up here. I think Limitless going deep, and now they're gonna go too wide. We have a panoramic view indeed. Oh, the Belgian might be shut out here. Oh, Calm was thinking about having a look, but in turn, car got a little bit out of shape. And it's all status quo through the final corner. Very close it is here down in P10. It's Bukri. The Finn getting the run on Dr. Hash here on the inside. Gonna grab P9 away from the Doctor. Thunderstorm, that crash. Thunderstorm had quite a spectacular accident, somehow rolling in over the pit wall from the start-finish straight at Solder, then managing to pick up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane before rolling back out over the wall again. It was good. It was very good. It's on Twitter. It's on the ERT Sports Twitter. You should go check it out. So Shoma still leading. Shosse, though, hanging on to it. To the tail of the Frenchman, who's going wide there on the exit of turn 5. And then it's a 2.5 second gap down to Hubi, who's holding on to 3rd place for the Iris Racing team at the moment. A little bit of islanding, although that 1.5 second gap would be quickly closed as well. And Grosso also with space behind here, and that's the reason, because Limitless and Wake yet again going at it, and I think this time TSR Wake is past. Immediate second look at this situation here. On board we are with Wake. Oh, that's very well kept, as I think there is Limitless getting deep on the brakes into turn 7. And Wake is up into 5th place now, chasing down and Grosso in front. Book, in the meanwhile, the Finn has gone up into 8th place, and Calm has lost 2 spaces. And it happened while we were elsewhere with our camera. So Calm down into P9, and now Shosse and Shoma going forward into turn 1. And I think the German's just got his nose in front. But it's as close as they come. And into turn 3, they're gonna go side by side, and Shosse's gonna hammer it around the outside. Brilliant stuff And we're gonna have an immediate second look at this whole situation. So through turn 1, side by side indeed. Here we go on board with Chasse. Let's swing that camera to the side to have a look at is exactly where Chomar is in all of this. No contact there, Chomar. Respectful, taking the slow, narrow line and not nudging Chasse wide. Very good battling. A very nice move from the German to take the lead. Brilliant stuff here. Chasse really showing what it's made of in that situation. Limitless and Wake. Oh, that's Limitless. Action is hot at the moment. Now what happened there to Limitless? Oh, that's breaking in the grass. And in the end, not opting to take that road on through the chicane. But perhaps you just can't. I haven't actually ever tried it, so Lord knows. But Limitless found the limits, that's for sure there, and is now down into 9th place, getting chased by Dr. Hash. We've got Bottle Sparks 11th. We've got Ave Oop in 12th place. Oh no, sacre bleu. Although the French would never say that anymore, I know. Which is kind of why it's fun to say. Oh, now yet again, here they go, yet again into turn 1. It's Chomar reclaiming what Chasse took on the lap before. Let's have another look. That's a long run, side by side. Too wide, down the start-finish straight. Slight lug up from both of them. Chomar claiming the position with a little less drama than on the lap before. A very good battle for the lead, and all this squabbling is now starting to let Hubi back into that fight. The ERT Dutchman in 3rd, by no means out of it. Round Robbins. Why didn't I see that? Oh, that's Spark 43. Oh, that's Spark 43 getting reset. We're gonna have another look instantly here at just what happened. Just carrying much too much speed and getting reset as only GT Sports can do. And there's something about getting put down into P9, which happens to whoever makes it and gets it wrong from P5. Uben is a sexy pink car. Sean Taylor. A sexy pink car indeed. But Robbins, I didn't see that comment of yours before, that the Frankfurter wants in that baguette. Brilliant stuff indeed. So Chomar having pulled out a little bit of a lead down to Chasse in 2nd. Now it's still Hubi 3rd. It's Ingrosso 4th, and that cursed 5th place now being held by Book, who came down from well, I think it was like P10 or 11 actually on the grid. Wake is now 6th. Excuse me. Bit of a Rolf Sørensen moment there. Dane would surely understand. But we got Wake sitting in P6 with Calm in 7th, then Limitless in 8th, Spark 43 in 9th. Now both Spark, Limitless, and Calm having had some kind of trouble and dropping back the order after smaller incidents. There is Dr. Hash running in 10th place. Dr. Hash was actually the driver who hit Bottle Sparks, I think, into turn 1. Just as the start went, and been running with some damage to the car ever since. Seems to really be struggling. Back up with the leader it is Chomar, the Frenchman, trying to break the slipstream down to Chasse in behind. Chasse, I think, just around the limits of what is possible slipstreaming, aiming for the exit on the driver in front, and getting it here, Chasse. And it's over a kilometer, mind you. The start finish straight here at Fuji. Hashtag real verb. But in all seriousness, it is one of the longest straights And look at this. It actually might just be that Chasse can send it here into turn 1. It's getting very close. Closing over half a second. Just by gaining the exit on the driver in front. It's certainly impressive to see. Now, Chomard and Chasse quickly beginning to really break away from Hübitz now. 3.8 seconds. So Hübi seems to be just ever so slightly off the pace of the two duelants there, hanging out in front. Or hanging out, that's perhaps that's lightly put, I think. And in behind there it's Wake and Calm. Those two still really going at it. So on lap 8 now of 15 to do, we're halfway through this, or just actually a little bit over halfway through this first heat of 2. With Calm putting on the pressure. Still haven't been able to actually find a way past TSR Wake. Been going at it for, well, most of the race actually. It's been a very good run from Book, the Finn, who's now sitting in 5th place. This time around, well, Chasse is very much so in the slipstream. Question is, 4/10 down. Just don't think that Chasse is close enough. It's going to be a look. It's going to be no more than that. Just a little too far back. Seems to be gaining yet again here. And Chomard certainly not able to just break away from Chasse, making it all the more interesting. Those two are very, very close indeed. And that's what I've been on about. Concerns to this series and the racing that it's been producing. Now, we haven't seen any type of wang cam yet, really. So I had to bring it. Had to bring the wang cam. And it is, of course, on board with the sweet Belgian Sugar Rush performance. It is TSR Wake here as Calm gets very close in the braking zone. Gets a terrible run through the chicane, loses out big time afterwards. Now having a look up in front this time. Oh, Chomard carrying so much more speed through the turn. And then visibly just Chasse aiming for the exit. And Chomard doing everything possible to break the slipstream, not wanting to tow Chasse along. As you can see, the slipstream just worth so much in terms of, well, just pure time. Basically, really big gains are being made. About 6 laps of racing left. This time Chasse within 0.3 of a second. Can he stay there? Well, it's gonna be possible to make something happen. So it looks like it's me. It looks like I'm commentating on NASCAR. That's absolutely brilliant, Ethan. Oh, Chasse is gonna have a little look there. Into turn 7 they go. That's something you're gonna rarely hear them talk about in NASCAR. Turn 7. Now this time around, mind you, last time they came through here he was 0.7 off, and that's been the way more or less every time they come through here. This time around though, Chasse might just be close enough. Chomard gets a very good line though through the penultimate corner. have to say Schosse does a superb job of lining it up. This time I think he's close enough. Within half a second already here. Or chicane indeed, or basically anything. The right-hander, what is that? What is that? Well, Frank, you missed. I wouldn't say you didn't miss anything. You've missed quite a bit of good racing here as we're on board with Shoma. Live and direct as Schosse sets it up the inside. There's a little bit of a squeeze between the two. Now plenty of space. Shoma does have to run. Into turn 3 they go. Oh, gets a little bit of a love tap. Love tap, a love tap. A love tap, that's the Thai version of a love tap. I'm sorry. That was a bad joke. Shoma defending that one brilliantly in the end. Just a second look at the love tap. Yeah, indeed, Frank, you didn't miss. Bottle Sparks being Bottle Sparks and bottling it at the first opportunity into turn 1. You've missed some very good battling between these two gentlemen, Shoma and Schosse, the Frenchman and the German, really going at it here yet again, very close. As they come through this final sector, through the penultimate corner. You've missed Book here on a charge up through the field. Book has gotten passed on, and Grosso as well. Wake hanging on to 6th place in front of Calm still, and now having closed the gap to the Portuguese in P5 as well. Belgium's going to be looking to better that position, that's for sure. Now at the heavy end of affairs, Avup looks to have had some bad luck early on in affairs, is chasing Dr. Hash, who picked up some damage in turn 1, having contact with Bottle Sparks. There wasn't really anywhere to go, it seems. Martin! The Martin from Favorizen! Nice to have you along, mate. The aforementioned Bottle Sparks here in P10. It's limitless for TX3, P9, Spark, 43 in 8th, then Calm in 7th. It's Wake hanging out there in 6th. And let's go back to that lead battle because, well, it hasn't been too tranquil at any time. Hello, Aura. Nice to have you along. And can I just say, if you like what we do here on Half the Race Gone, please consider giving the video a like, and if you want to see more, do feel free to subscribe. As we're watching Shoma absolutely hammering it here through the final section. Look at though Schosse in that braking zone, trying to close the gap. Schosse seeming to be good at aiming for the exits. Shoma all about that pure apex speed. It's been a very good battle so far, and at no point have our top 2 runners been separated by more than a second. Yet again, Shoma breaks off, try to break the slipstream, the toe. And I think it just might be doing the trick indeed. Because Schosse just too far back to actually make a move. Now 3 laps of racing left from this first heat of 2 that we're having on tonight. It's Shoma, it's Schosse, and then in 3rd it's still Hübi from the iRacing team. Book the Finn in 4th place, in Grosso 5th. It's Wake of the TSR gang in 6th place. We've got Calm in 7th and Spark 43 in 8th. There's some skills, Robbins, in deciphering what's being said there. Could someone actually go and Google Translate that? I'd like to know what we're being told. Look at this. Yet again. Shoma and Schase within half a second as they're coming into the final sector. We're gonna go on board with Schase this time around. The German who's been so good at getting the run this time. I think Schase's onto something here. Trying just to get closer to Shoma. And then it matters a little less with the exit. Because the slipstream is so strong. This time around, the Frenchman's gonna find it hard to defend. As they head on to the penultimate lap, into turn 1 they go. Schase's up the inside. The send has been made, and I don't think there's any defending it from Shoma. He's gonna try to be surviving it there. As the outside becomes the inside for turn 3, there's a little bit of rubbing between the two. Schase though, with the speed through that wider line, takes the lead through turn 3. And what a time to do so. Cliche, nice to have you along. Welcome, mate. I hope you're well. I hope, of course, hope all are well. And they're still really going at it here. Shoma now ducking and diving, trying to find a way through. Being shown the outside here into turn 7 with a big lug up. Managing to get in there somehow. Managing to squeeze through on Schase. That's brilliant stuff from Shoma. How he made space for an Audi TT, I have no clue. And we're gonna have a little bit more of a look there. As the replay was lost. That is a Schase stopper indeed. Brilliant move, but it's not over yet as Schase's right on the tail. And it's going to be a hard job defending this one from Shoma. The German does have the speed, he does have the run here into turn 1. They come for the final time around here for turn 1. Heat 1, they're going to be bumping and grinding all the way in. Oh, and Schase. Is that a Scandinavian flick? Trying to undercut Shoma? That was some dramatic scenes. Dramatic scenes. And quite a bit of flashing going on there. Perhaps not all happy with the rubbing as they did make quite a bit of contact there indeed in the end. And now not a lot of chances left for Schase to actually get the better of the Frenchman. And the question is, it's just gonna be Shoma then running away with it here. Lights to flag is gonna sound a lot easier than it's been for Shoma. He's been challenged all the way by Schase. Who's gonna claim, it seems, a very worthy second place in the end. But with that said, Shoma, Monsieur E.T. It's gonna be crossing the line in first. A second ahead of Schase. And rounding off the podium in third, it's gonna be Hübi. Book the Finn in fourth place, and Grosso and Wake 5th, 6th, and Calm in 7th. Spark 43 and 8th. We're gonna have Bottle Sparks, I think, coming home for 9th place. But being chased to the line by Limitless. And the question is Limitless gonna break out here at the final moment? That's gonna be a tad too late. And just 0.05 of a second. Splitting those two. Dr. Hash 11th and the Whoop in 12th place. Brilliant race indeed. Robbins. You certainly did. Cliche, you certainly did. So that was quite the race indeed. Now I'm gonna present you with a short moment of bouncy heads. If I can. There's the bouncy heads. Now we're gonna go, because now these new 16 player parties, they have of course enabled us to hop right on to everybody. I don't have to invite folks. I don't have to do anyone. Hey guys, great race. Can I just have a word? Can I have a word with your Shoma and Shaze? Oh my god, what a race, you two. And let's just start out with the lower finisher of the two. If you're here, Shaze. Brilliant race. A little bit of rubbing between you and Shoma coming into the final lap there on the start-finish straight. That looked spicy indeed. That's a fair reflection. Shoma, do you agree? Do you agree in that reflection?
I think it was both our race, to be fair. Okay, maybe I was a tiny bit faster because you had the slipstream for the whole race, but you still managed to come back and make moves. So I think it was like either you or me. The other were already too far up after the first lap, so they didn't have a slipstream to catch. But yeah, it was a tough, intense, and strategic battle, to say the least. A bit of rubbing his racing on the straight, but I mean, when it's the last lap, it's just like, okay, just you want to go make me go more on the inside, I would push you a tiny bit more on the outside, and but just a tiny bit, not too much, so we go on the wall. But yeah, it was just racing and making intimidations. But I made like a very brake late on the final, on the first corner. I really thought I would just go straight. And it worked in the end. Wasn't sure of my corner, but I was like, made it. Okay, cool. But as you've mentioned before Dirten joined, the run on the outside at the chicane, the second hairpin, that was not intentional. Just like missed my braking points. I just went back to first gear and make the rear rotate as well, and I've made the move at the same time, and just like, oh well, I'm in front again, cool. That was not expected, to be fair, and yeah, it was fair and good battle. I liked it.
Well, thanks for your words, thanks for your time, and just wanted to hear a bit on that great battle for the lead in Heat 1, and I'll be leaving with some bouncy heads, the guys in the party, and I'll be leaving the party, guys. We'll be back with the party people here after Heat 2, so certainly something to look forward to till after the race. Bye, guys. And we're back from bouncy heads and back with the race pictures here as we're watching Aura now with us for Heat 2, the TX3 driver. We've got Hybi slowly warming up as well. Aviup is on track alongside Bottle Sparks. We've got 6 minutes time, 5-6 minutes of time until we will get the second heat underway. And Heat 2, as I mentioned earlier, might have been there to hear so, but Heat 2 standing start usually, I'd say it certainly has the potential to create even more drama than what we saw in the rolling start, and they managed to actually go like 3-4 wide in that braking zone into turn 1. So that certainly was interesting, to say the least. To say the very least. Interesting is what our 14 laps, of course without the formation lap, that's going to make 14 laps of racing. It's going to be very interesting as well. And mind you, we're going to be starting in a reverse grid order for the top 10 in qualifying. And that that in turn might just make it, well, all the more interesting. I just have a feeling, just a slight feeling, that we might be in for a really good one indeed. So this is certainly the moment to practice the standing starts before Heat 2. Some drivers are taking a little bit of time here to do so. We've got a random joiner. Seems to happen from time to time. So it is going to be really, really interesting, I think, to see whether Choma and Chasse, who seem to have that extra bit of pace compared to the rest of the field, will they be able to make it count when it comes to overtaking? Because they will be having a lot of overtaking to do, coming from positions 9 and 10 on the grid here for the second heat. It's going to be interesting. We're going to be having Hyppie in 8th place. We'll be having then Karm, I think, in 6th. And then from there on, I don't really remember. And by the way, I totally saw that that you told me that Chasse's audio wasn't set for sharing. And I'll make sure to tell him. So we're getting closer and closer to the start of Heat 2. I think wow, that's Aura having bended. Well, bended or been, I'm not sure actually, but it looks like Aura having bended in turn 1, or maybe just practicing starts in the wrong direction. And as the start-finish straight, it looks more like a drag strip right about now. Look at this. And Chasse, Bamboo, what you gonna do? Turn that car around and practice some starts. But what a race we've had. What a Heat 1 yet again here in the Audi TT Cup Showdown. The monthly series that aims to be fun. That's racing should be fun, and that's what it's all about in this series, which is also why the organizers have chosen not to have any point standings or anything that could bring a more serious note into it. And it's brought us so much good action over the course of this year. And should you be bored, well, there are plenty of old TT Cup broadcasts in the HTRG archives. That sounds strange to say. That's for sure. Oh, we've got bottle sparks and the best of Dutch styles. Practicing for what might come afterwards. Da, 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 da. What's it doing? What is the whoop doing? That's a good question. Why is the car backing up into the wall with no pedal input or anything? That's a little strange. So here it is. Heat 2 has gotten underway. And let us see exactly how that is gonna go down. Here is the grid order. Shall I do my best David Croft, my best Crofty impression? We've got Overwhelmed 17 just joining in here at the final call in the stock liveried TT. That could be. We've got Avub on pole in front of Dr. Hash, Wake and Grosso, Book, Bottlesparks, Calm, Hübi in 8th, of course, and then in 9th and 10th. It's lights out and away they go! And that's a very bad David Croft impression, but indeed they are off. And Dr. Hash getting a very good run there on Avub and taking the lead instantly. Very good run into turn 1, and then there's a big bunch of cars heading into it here. And somehow it seems they've all safely made it out of turn 1 as they're streaming down to turn 3. It's still Dr. Hash leading Avub, TSR, Wake, and Grosso now battling there with the Bottle Sparks, and that's Calm heading backwards as well. Oh, that's Calm going wide, and that 100R, that long right-hander that is turn 4. But by the name of 100R, that seems to be that every Japanese racetrack shall have a corner named by its radius. So Dr. Hash in the lead here, and Dr. Hash absolutely goes and makes a brilliant save actually to keep the rear end in check. On board here with the Doctor, we're gonna have another look. Just brakes too hard into turn 7. But plenty of rotation on the car, you could say, that way through. But right now Avub is very close to the tail, and TSR Wake in 3rd place is going to be looking to have a go here as well. They're all very close indeed. Shoma has moved up into 8th place. Schosse has moved up into 6th place at the moment. So looking really good for Schosse. It certainly is, mind you. Schosse started in P9. Here it is. Calm down in P12, and there's a little bit of cars there on the outside as well. We've got Hübi down in last place at the moment. Oh, as Hübi and Calm goes for it into turn 1, and Hübi gets loose there. And at the same time, there's a battle for the lead, and it's all getting very spicy indeed here as Avub grabs it. And it's now another Frenchman. As it's Dr. Hash 2nd, it's in Grosso 3rd. Now Schosse is up into 4th place. Make that 3rd with a little bit of a squeeze. Very much so. Schosse really looking to be in a hurry. And look at this. It's the send. A little bit of a touch there. But not enough to make it through, I think. Oh, it was in the end. Up into 3rd place. Brilliant stuff. And Shoma following the German along. Has moved up into 5th here at the end of the second lap. That is most impressive indeed. Now in front, it's Avup actually gaining a little bit of an advantage. Dr. Hash trying to hold up the rest of the bunch. And it's all very, very, very close indeed. Now Wayne Cam time. As I think close it's a bit of an understatement when trying to describe the distance between these two cars right now. And look at that, because right behind here, and Grosso is actually having the big run on both of them. They're going to be going 3 wide into turn 1. Dr. Hash, is he even going to be making that one? I think he actually is. Brilliant defending, and Schosse managing to hold off, and Grosso there as well. So it's all status quo. Now Shoma and Wake are looking to have a go at the Portuguese in behind. Oh, and that's Hash getting way wide there on the exit of turn 3. And now through on the outside comes Schosse. Brilliant stuff indeed. The action is closer than close at the moment here on board with Bottle Sparks in 7th place. That's going to provide us with a very good view over proceedings in front and what's absolutely going on here. That's actually, I think that's Shoma having a bit of a luck up, but Shoma moving up, getting in cross and in front of Dr. Hash, who gets a poor exit. Wake with a look. Oh, that's in Grosso. It's all happening so quickly that I can hardly keep up at the moment. And yet again, a bit of a squeeze there to the outside for Bottle Sparks. It's still Avup leading, but now it's leading Schosse and Shoma. Dr. Hash down into 4th place with Wake up in 5th. Here we are on board now with the Belgian. Trying to bump draft Dr. Hash down the main straight. Probably isn't the worst of ideas. Here we can see the leading duo. Then Shoma in 3rd, and there it's going to be the move from Wake, I think, to claim 4th, if it's not an oversend. And it very much is going too far wide on the outside. There's the AstroTurf. Keep it alive. And Wake certainly does, but that's losing a lot of places for the Belgian indeed here. As you can see exactly what happened there. Entering much too quickly and running out of tarmac in the end here. Schosse now on a mission to get through quickly on Avup. As the German finds himself in a French sandwich at the moment. And I do understand you're sitting with such a feeling, Frank. Intense. Doesn't really seem to cover it here as they do go too wide through the chicane. And that's going to open the door for Shoma. Oh! Opportunistic to say the least. And now will they be working together from the two Frenchmen? I'm not quite sure, but Shoma certainly does have the run on Schosse here. And that was a little bit of a nudge to move the German out of the way. And the question is Schosse just going to be sending it right back up the inside of Shoma here? Most certainly. Shoma getting muscly. And it all really is kicking off here as Shoma is now moving into the lead. And they're gonna go more or less 3 wide, I think, into turn 1 here. Avup backing out of it. Shoma late braking. And Schosse is gonna be aiming for the cutback. But it's not gonna be enough. And with that, Shoma has moved into the race lead. And I'm kind of left speechless for a sec here. I need a drink. some insane racing. Let's have another look at what we can catch of the situation there from last lap. So Avup and Schusse very much go very slowly through that chicane. We're on board with Shoma here with the rotating cam, with the roof cam. Now he's got Schusse swept out wide. Finds the space to get the move there on Avup. And then manages to defend from Schusse on the inside at the same time. That's really good stuff. That is super strong stuff. And so we have it yet again. Shoma leading Schusse. And it certainly didn't take them long to thunder their way through the pack and make it to the front. Avup is hanging out in third place at the moment. Good stuff from the Frenchman. And then it's Bottle Sparks in fourth, Dr. Hash hanging on to fifth place there, Aura in sixth, and Grosso seventh, Limitless in eighth. I think Wake has had some kind of problem at some point here, and Schusse moving up into the lead through turn one. We're gonna have another look at that, most certainly. Small lockups from both of them, but it's a carbon copy of one of the moves that Shoma pulled off in the first heat. And Schusse is showing that he certainly did learn a couple of tricks here along the way as he gets sketchy on the in the entrance. I'm sorry, to turn 5. And that might very well compromise Schusse on the run-in down towards turn 7 as Shoma breaks towards the outside here. I think the German's just gonna try to just put that Audi in the way of the Frenchman behind. Certainly backing up Shoma now into Avup. Oh, that's a cheeky one from Shoma now, trying to sneak up the inside, and will quite certainly, I think, get the run on Schusse onto the straight. But who will really get the run here is, well, either Avup. Even further back here in fourth place, it is Bottle Sparks, who might be in for a very big run on the cars in front indeed. But looky as they go 3 wide yet again. It's Schusse on the inside now, 2 wide with Shoma. Shoma here with the cutback, aiming to get the run, does get there. Almost gets cut off, but what we saw in the last heat was that turn 3 is very much possible to carry that speed around on the outside. Shoma, I think that's Schusse actually going a little wide in his defense of first place. Avup is going to be looking for somewhere to try and send it, but Avup is taking a cautionary approach at the moment, braking just a little bit earlier than the drivers in front. You do understand that. Certainly looks to be a hot battle indeed, as they've now backed up into one another. Sparks is right into the mix again here. Behind these, it's Limitless, Hübi up into 6th place, Wake in 7th, and then Overwhelm, who joined in the break as well, is now in 8th place. Oh, that's Hübi getting very loose with the caboose yet again through that final sector. Avup is defending from Sparks as they're very close to one another. Sparks aiming for the exit and does indeed get it. A very big run here. I don't think there's going to be any defending that as Avup goes to the inside here in front. Now Schusse and Shoma side by side. Schusse trying to shut the Frenchman out on the outside into turn 1. And in turn, Avup trying to do exactly the same to Sparks in behind. And there's action all around at the moment. A bit of a lock up there from Shoma. I think Schusse maybe carries a little bit too much speed into there. And Shoma with a very good cutback. Very good cutback indeed. Turns in too early there. Shawson gets a poor exit, which in turn costs the lead, at least for now. Abub hanging on to third with Sparks on the tail. And the question is, because there is a little bit of a gap down to Limitless, Wake and Fuji, but they're all very, very close as well behind. As we have a look here, it's Wake leading the rest of the bunch, but they are very, very, very close indeed. This four-way scrap for P6 at the moment. Oh, the screeching, tortured tires. Oh, welcome back, Stick. Glad to know you're better this time. I think it's Overwhelm looking up the inside of Fuji. The slightest bit of notches in between the two. Out in front, Shoma is now going to be concentrating on defending from Shase. In behind, well, it's going to be exactly the same for Butler Sparks and Abub. And good to hear that you're feeling better, Stick. I think we just might be seeing some moves here into turn one, and I think that might be coming from Shase here. And it's gonna be the very, just a carbon copy of the lap before. And Shase just ever so slightly overshooting it. Shoma holding on to the lead there, but Sparks, though, moving up into third place. Finally getting past on Abu. Seems he's been a passenger for some time now. Limitless, having been caught up to by Wake and the rest of the gang. Book is up into 8th place. In 9th, it's Karm, then 10th in Grosso. Hubi has fallen down into 11th place. Aura in 12th. Dr. Hash is down in 13th and last place. That is certainly not the luckiest of situations for him. And out in front, it's still Shoma defending from Shase. And the battle from Heat 1 just keeps on giving. A gift that keeps on giving, it most certainly is. Look how close Shase is this time around. Should be patient, just try to aim for the exit. That's a good move, it seems, as Shase goes up the inside. We're into the final 5 laps of racing. Shase locking up the rears, managing to keep the car composed yet again. Shoma with the patience. But is Shase keeping a little bit of overlap here? No. In the end, it's gonna be a no. But it's very close between the two. Shoma doing so well not to let Shase get an actual shot, forcing the German to brake so late that every time that sent's been made up the inside, there's been a chance for the cutback for the Frenchman. Right up the inside there on the exit. And it's worked out so far. Still, they are more than close here through the chicane. Onto the Wancam we are. Also, Sparks not too far back in 3rd place. This time Shase indeed very close, indeed with a very good exit on Shoma. Moves to the inside pretty early here. And down towards turn 1 they go. Let's see this time around. Will Chasse get it timed better? Struggles to get the car turned in. And nope, yet another carbon copy of those attempts of previous laps made by Chasse. Still going at it, the two. 4 laps left now. It's still Battlesparks in 3rd. It's still Aviub 4th now. Wake has moved up on up into 5th place with Book in 6th. Overwhelm in 7th and Calm in 8th. And that's still very, very, very close as well. In the battle for P5. And that's 5th, 6th, and 7th in the end, with Calm not too far as well. Pedal inputs. So this is Chomar into the final corner. And as you see, some pretty light braking indeed. We'll have a look as they come towards the braking zone again. You're on board with Chasse. Having a look at the telemetry as Chasse's up the inside here. 3 laps remaining. This would certainly not be a bad time to gain it. I think this time around Chasse's made it work. Chasse has made it work. Finally, I was about to say. I shall of course remain non-partial. But look at this one, very good move. This time finding the braking point perfectly here. And getting that move sent up the inside. Now having to defend for 2.5 laps. Although, it has to be said, with Chomar on the tail, that's very much easier said than done. We've still got Battlesparks in 3rd and Aviub in 4th. And then that's still a tight squeeze, a tight battle for 5th place as well. With here Wake, Overwhelm, Book and Calm, although they've spread out ever so slightly as well. And so we're gonna go back with our 2 leaders. This has been an amazing show so far from these 2 drivers. And it's kept me at the edge of my seat. And I can only imagine it's been the same for you out there. Half a second as they cross the line to begin the penultimate lap. I don't think Chomar's going to be close enough to actually send it here. A bit of a small log up for both of them here. We're on board with Sparks. Let's have a bit of a look at some pedal braking input from Sparks. That's a bit of a log up, I think, ever so slightly, but it doesn't take much. Without any real type of adjustment opportunities or abilities to adjust the gamma, as you would call it, of the brake pedal. That certainly makes it hard, especially on some pedals it's gonna make it harder than on others here. Anyways, penultimate lap, final sector. Chasse is still hanging on to it, still defending, but it's with 0.2 of a second. So Chomar right on the tail, as we can see here. They've been glued together for 2 heats now. And it's about to be one final lap of racing. And I think Schosse is gonna have a very hard time defending this one. Now pulling off to the inside there, getting a little far in over the pit lane. Schomas with the Rosberg squeeze. Lots of paint being traded. Schomas a little bit in front, and Schomas gonna turn in ahead. The question is, it's gonna be enough. Schosse following on. And they're very much just side by side here. Through turns 1, 2. Into turn 3, and Schomas has taken the lead here on the final lap. Oh, that's a good opportunity here for Schosse, who's gonna send it into turn 5. And there's contact. There is contact at the exit of turn 5. Although not enough, I think, to damage the cars. And we'll have another look at the move. At the first given opportunity, it's going to be a resend here instantly from Schomas into the chicane. And look at this, they've backed right up into Sparks. And coming from out of nowhere. Well, except that, of course, Schomas now grabbing the lead. Schosse is in second. And all of a sudden, Sparks with an opportunity to go on through as well. Oh, that's not the best of runs from Schomas here, who might compromise himself into the final corner. And there are 3 also close to one each other. We're on board with Sparks here to see the panoramic view. See if Schosse can get the run on the line here. They're so close to one another. There's 3 cars within for half a second. And they're all gaining on the leader here. It's too close to tell. But I think it's going to be Schomas for the second heat consecutively. And we're gonna have 3 cars finishing within 0.3 of a second. If that is racing, if that isn't racing, I don't know what is. Further down, we've had just about the same here, with Wake grabbing 5th place right in front of Overwhelm and Book as well. Absolutely insane stuff on the final lap. Brilliant racing from Schomas and Schosse all the way through here. Congratulations, of course, to Schomas for taking the checkered flag for the second heat running here. Schosse very close. Could we say that? Just very close yet again. And all of a sudden, coming from out of nowhere, it was Sparks, but not being able to find a way through. Oh. Well, that kind of feels like it's left me with a need for drinks. So here it is, race results. Schomas in front of Schosse, Sparks, and then Abu, and then look further down as well from Wake, Overwhelm, and Book also finishing within half a second. That most certainly is impressive. Now a little bit of bouncy heads for you as we join the party. Yet again, the party peoples, it's among us. Schomas, Schosse, and let's just have a word with our 3rd place finisher, Sparks, Battle Sparks. It didn't really look like much on the penultimate lap. Then all of a sudden, you were in the mix. Take us through that that final lap from your perspective. Or Sparks isn't here?
Pretty sure
there
he isn't here.
Oh, he isn't here.
Oh, he's not here.
Oh.
I love it when that happens. I love it when that happens. It always seems to happen. I love it when that happens. Seriously though, it always seems to happen. Oh wait, anyways, Schosse, let's have your thoughts on yet another very intense, hectic heat of battling with Schomas in front. Joseph, by the way, sorry, I think you need to turn on your voice sharing because it wasn't on for the last interview. I think the guys in chat couldn't hear you. No, don't be.
Race, second one, but on the last lap, I went on the inside on turn 4. Thomas went off track, so I didn't know if it was a safe move. He could have looked in his mirrors, I guess, or on his radar. But yeah, I must have hit him seriously, so I gave the position back. In the end, I tried to overtake him again, but didn't work out.
Well,
so I don't know if I should be sad or just happy about this race.
Well, I can understand if you're a little bit disappointed in the end. Charles is so close to grabbing a win today, and yet now sitting here with 2 second places. It's understandable, but the racing has been spectacular. So in the end, I think you can be happy about some fantastic racing, and what a show you've put on for me and the viewers. It's been amazing. Shoma.
Yes.
Monsieur été. Baguette.
It's quite easy.
Pourquoi
What can I say about the race?
What can I even say? I mean, I was speechless for a second there, but your thoughts on it, on this second heat?
Excellent. Just excellent. I think Jose gained a few tenths from race 1 to race 2, so he was a lot harder to handle, which is very fair play to him. Just to go back on this, I saw you went for the inside, but I tried to close the door a bit, just enough so you have one car, just to like close a bit, but not too much, and try to keep the momentum from the outside. But yeah, I couldn't see what if you did lock up wheel or whatever. But yeah, I've got the hit on the side, and that's why I went off track. I tried to keep some momentum and just go as fast as possible, but yeah, I went off track. And when you let me by, the issue, you tried to stay on the outside, but had dirty tires. I was literally locked on from the front rail. I couldn't turn whatever. So yeah, thanks for letting me by, but sorry for this. I don't think that I will have that much dirty tires on the front due to the dust on the outside. But outside of it, that was excellent. Still rubbing his racing and still good fun. Trying to overtake, trying to break the pack again, because Woob and Bodolstark were catching so fast. It's just like, okay, we need to move away before we fight again at some point. Because yeah, we were losing maybe 2-3 seconds per lap, mainly at the beginning. But yeah, it was a very, very, very intense race and very enjoyable race. So yeah, it was really, really nice.
Well, that's great to hear, Shoma. Congratulations on, well, 2 wins out of 2 here tonight. Clean sweep. Very strong performance. Not that we didn't expect it of you, but nevertheless. Now, did I see Sparks joining?
Yes, yep. I'm in here.
Oh, Sparks! I just wanted to hear your perspective and your take on that final lap coming into it. I think you were about over a second back on the lead duo. Did you expect to be in the mix all of a sudden?
Nope, I did not expect it. As soon as I saw Yomas drop time, I was like, ooh, I got a chance. But there wasn't enough time in the race, so it wasn't to be. It was just a shame that I couldn't pass, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, a Weeb earlier? Whoop. Maybe, yeah, Whoop. It's a shame I couldn't pass him earlier, but probably could have had a battle, but maybe next time in another race. But yeah, really happy with thirds due to my first race, and I just bottled it in the first corner. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Yeah, that was that looked like a T1 to forget for you.
Yeah.
But anyways, congrats on a strong second heat podium finish and one of the closest top threes I think I've ever seen. Top three finishing within 0.3 of a second. That was absolutely spectacular. That it was. I'm gonna leave the party people. And with that, we're now getting ready for our final event of the day. The backwards race. It's the backwards race. And it's gonna be one lap of racing. It's gonna be one single lap of racing. And have a look at the contestants here. In Grosso, Chasse, Dr. Hash, Wake, Shoma, and I think actually Calm is just about to make it as well. Look at these beautiful HTRG minis that we've had designed. Round robins, I can explain. You see, not that I'm Dutch, I'm Danish. I do have a thing for the Netherlands, the Benelux, the nether countries, so to say. They have this tradition in Holland with racing cars backwards. They've been doing so for a long time. Go look it up on YouTube. It's an actual thing, and it is absolutely hilariously entertaining. So we're gonna have the drivers ready. We're gonna have them set. And when I say go, it's go for one lap of racing backwards here around. Oh, it's go. No, Sparks. Sparks. A single lap it is and they're off, and I'm so sorry, Sparks. I didn't really know that you'd be joining. Look at these fools as they come into turn one. I think they're gonna be something like 5 wide. Something's gone off. Someone's gone off. That Chasse getting it terribly wrong. Shoma showing that he's just as fast the wrong way around. As there's still 3 wide here in behind. It's Wake, Dr. Hash, and then Grosso. And that's the entire point of it. Ethan, Shoma still leading. Wake now in second. But he is, of course, Flemish. So, speaking the tongue of the inventees here is... And Grosso bins it! And Grosso bins it through the first of the 2 hairpins. Shoma still looking steady here into the S's under the bridge. But Dr. Hash... Oh, that's an intelligent cut. Now is he gonna make the move on Wake by that? I think Shoma lost a little bit of time there through. Karm has lost some time as well. Now Hashi obviously knows that, of course, it's a thing that you can cut the track. We don't care how you get to the finish line as long as you get there, and whoever get there first will be the winner. Now here comes Shoma with that good cut, the rallycross line through the chicane or through the hairpin. Wake follows along. It's a very tight squeeze between the 3 here. Now, mind you, for once a race where well, the slipstream does not matter for one single thing. I think the best piece of advice I can give to the drivers here is just to punt the others off if given the chance. Now Shoma is creeping and crawling up towards the final corner, and Shoma is looking to make it 3 out of 3. He can race in the TDs. And he can also make an absolute fool out of himself backwards in the minis. And an absolute fool, actually. I don't know why I said that. Because he's the one making the least of a fool out of himself. That's for sure here. But he is picking up another win. Another win, indeed it is. I think Wake coming home for second place it is. Dr. Hash in third and Calm fourth. Close scrap again here, and Grosso, who had a bit of an off, is coming home for fifth place. And wherever Shosse is going the right way, all of a sudden, having hit the pause button. He's finally not second. No, he was sick indeed. And with that done, I think there is not left for me but to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure having you along for this TT Cup Showdown plus silly mini backwards racing in this Oktoberfest edition. Now, if you've liked what we have brought to you on this Monday night, do please leave a like on the video, and if you feel like it, well, do feel free to subscribe as well. Of course, my name is DirtenDK, and we will be returning soon with more GT Sport stuff, with more iRacing, and with well, more good stuff from the world of sim racing. So, well, until then, I hope to see you again soon, and take care, have fun, and bye bye.